Hello people, my name is Yusuf Paracha. I've come from Karachi, Pakistan to the northern areas of Pakistan to hunt the elusive Himalayan Ibex up at 14,000 feet above sea level in its truly hardcore environment. From Gilgit we drove to Hunza and onwards to Sust and then to Misghar. From Misghar, which is at 11,000 feet above sea level, we started on foot, going on to Camp 1, which was about 15.5 kilometers from Kalandar Fort in Misghar. We spent the night there and then carried on the next day acclimatizing and walking on to Morkushi, which was somewhat base camp for us. The weather was quite terrible. The night we got to Morkushi, it started snowing and it continued to snow for 2 days. This was at around 12,700 feet. The temperature dropped to -25 the next morning. We stayed at Morkushi for another 3 days, 3 nights, not with much success. Then we decided to continue onwards further to 13,500 feet to Mintika, where we were aware of another hut, where we continued onwards to. Our journey to Mintika was terrible. There was a blizzard which continued for 2.5 days. The visibility was terrible. We could only see about 150 meters ahead of us at best. We got about 6 to 7 inches of snow that the day we got there, and we continued to wait it out until it was a bit clearer and we could start glassing for animals. After it cleared up, we found a group of animals which had just come out of a plateau further up. It was a group of about 60 odd ibex, and there were 2 very nice males that we decided to pursue. We left early morning because the wind was such that till about 8:30 a.m. it would be in our favor, and then it would just suddenly switch in an opposite direction when the sun would come out and totally be against us, blowing towards the ibex. Sadly, the day we approached these ibex, they were also being hunted by a group of wolves, a pack of wolves, and a lone male snow leopard. We knew this because there was fresh snow on the ground, and just before we got to them, we saw tracks of these animals leading to the ibex, and suddenly they just spooked and they took off further up into the mountain and then horizontally onwards towards Mintika Pass. 2 very nice males in that group. We decided to come back down to the hut and start glassing again for another group. We did find eventually one other nice animal which was right over our hut, about 1,200 meters vertically above us. Now this group was an old seasoned group. These guys wouldn't let us close to them. I climbed about 500 meters straight up on a rock face covered in snow. But when I got 500 meters up, there was a plateau leading to the animals, and they were sitting there on a pinnacle just looking straight down at me. There was no way I could get any closer, so I decided to abandon that hunt as well. Being unsuccessful in Mintika, we decided that there's no point lingering there any longer. We came back down to Morkushi, spent the night there. Next morning we started glassing again, and luckily we found another group which had 1 good male in it, which was worth attempting for. Now the conditions here at this point was early morning temperatures of -25, midday -5. It had been snowing for almost 6-7 days, off and on. Everything was covered in snow. So in either case, we had no choice, so we decided to just leave while it was still dark, around 3 a.m. Cross the place where these animals were, and then just bed down there for the day, and then after the wind had shifted, we would be in a better position to approach these animals. We managed to get ahead of the animals in good time. We waited out 4 or 5 hours, and about 4 p.m. we started our stalk to the animals, which had now come down from the mountain to feed a little bit lower where the snow had melted a bit. This was an epic hunt. Have a look.
सबसे आखिर में उसको पीठ को इसलिए वो अलग होगा अभी अलग है ऊपर लगा पीछे कौन सा लेफ्ट को भागा लगा एक सेकंड के लिए हाँ दोबारा ये दूसरे को दीजिए एक सेकंड अभी गंदा पोजीशन है अभी गंदा पोजीशन है हाँ ये देखो ये साइड है कितना ऊपर था अभी सुबह का जो है ना बोझा नहीं
गिर गया ओ नीचे आ गया मुबारक हो भाई
एक नंबर व्यू दे विच आ गया उसको फुल जूम पे रखा ना तो क्लियर नजर आ रहा था, फिर मैंने उसका जूम कम किया तो सामने घास का टीला सेंटर में, फिर थोड़ा साइड पे कि उधर भी टीला, दोनों तीनों के बीच में से फायर मारा। Got to the animal, shot it very late, around 5:30 p.m. It was high up in the mountains, and then it had to be retrieved because there's all ice and boulders and we could go up there. Jalal and Hamid and Shifa kind enough to go up there and drag him down. Very happy with this animal. Made us work really hard. We started at 5 a.m. We walked to the end of this ravine, didn't see anything, came back and we saw a group with this guy in there. And we took a shot. And it was 5 when we saw him. We took a shot at about 360. I hit him a bit low. And then I followed up with a couple more. It's down.
गिर गया
Thank you.
Nice effort, nice trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you. शुक्रिया शुक्रिया. After having shot this beautiful animal, we were overjoyed. We had been in the mountains for 15 days now, and it was a 2-day journey back as well, so we decided to wrap things up, pack up and get the show on the road. It was 30 kilometers from Morkushi back to Misghar on foot. We made the call on the satellite phone to arrange for donkeys and porters to come back, pick us up, grab our gear, and yesterday we started around 10 a.m. from Morkushi, and just before 4, about 10 to 4 p.m. we arrived back to Misghar. And it's been a very humbling experience again. Every time I go into these mountains, it's just reminds me of how much we take for granted sitting in our homes back in the cities. These are extreme conditions. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it just basically humbles you in ways that most people can't even imagine, because out there you have nothing except your wit, and that's pretty much it. So once again, it was a great hunt. I'm glad we came out on top. Sadly, we couldn't get the animals that eluded us, which took off. But since the conservation of this area has just began about 3 years ago, there's a long way to go. And inshallah, God willing, in the years to come, there should be some great hunts to be had in these areas. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed.